Coming up next on Nightly News, find out what new technique the Orlando police are using to curb domestic violence.
And where the Orange County School Board is proposing to make budget cuts. Find out what services have to go. Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Katlyn Storey.
And I'm Adam Levesey. Today we're bringing you the news from the week of February 23rd, 2009.
President Barack Obama presents Congress with a 140-page summary of the budget for the fiscal year 2010. The president's budget includes investments in renewable energy, education, and health care. In introducing the budget, Obama slammed the cost of U.S. wars and says his team has already identified $2 trillion in budget savings by scouring the federal budget. Obama is also proposing an estimated $634 billion health care reserve fund aimed at reforming the system. In order to fund it, Obama says he will ask wealthy Americans to accept a tax increase and wealthy seniors to pay higher Medicare premiums. The full details of the fiscal budget are expected in April. A new report today from the Commerce Department shows that the economy is shrinking at a staggering rate. At the end of 2008, the economy shrank at a 6.2% pace, the fastest pace in 27 years. Economists say 2009 isn't looking much better as businesses and consumers continue to cut back on spending.
President Barack Obama addresses Congress in his first State of the Nation speech. Obama made his case on Tuesday that much more is needed to turn the economy around. Obama touched on foreign policy and he will push for health care coverage for all Americans. President Obama also said he seeks to expand educational opportunities and diversify the country's energy resources. He says he wants to contain entitlement programs like Social Security and cut the nation's scoring budget deficit in half within 4 years. President Obama says he believes together we can lift the nation from the crisis.
Tonight, I want every American to know this. We will rebuild, we will recover, and the United States of America will emerge stronger than before.
Obama says even more money may be needed to rescue troubled banks outside the $700 billion already committed. During his presidential campaign, President Barack Obama pledged to have troops out of Iraq within 16 months and was expected to announce his plans this week. Christina Hodge joins us live in the newsroom with the latest. Christina?
Thanks, Adam. President Barack Obama announced his plans today to withdraw troops from Iraq. In his speech from Camp Lejeune, the president discussed how the war in Iraq will end and approved a plan to pull most of the troops out of Iraq. In the meantime, between 35,000 and 50,000 troops will remain to advise and train Iraqi security forces and provide intelligence and surveillance.
So let me say this as plainly as I can. By August 31st, 2010, our combat mission in Iraq will end.
U.S. officials say they hope to have the rest of the troops out of Iraq by December 2011. Reporting live in the newsroom, Christina Hodge, UCF Nightly News.
Thanks, Christina. Defense Secretary Robert Gates says military families can now decide if news organizations can photograph their deceased family members returning from Iraq and Afghanistan. This new policy reserves an 18-year-old decision by former President George H.W. Bush. Some critics says it was an attempt to hide the costs of war. The ban has been placed since 1991. President Obama has appointed former Washington State Governor Gary Locke as Commerce Secretary. This is the third time the president has tried to fill the position. The previous two appointees removed themselves from consideration. Locke will be the third Asian American in the new cabinet.
With the signing of the federal stimulus package, parents of college students could receive a new tax break. Families with children in college would receive $2,500 per student, which is double the current college tuition tax break. According to officials, the new tax break will relieve some of the financial burden of sending kids to college. The tax break does have a cap, though. Single parents are only eligible if they make up to or less than $90,000 a year, and married couples up to $180,000 a year. U.S. jobless claims count reaches the 5 million mark. The Labor Department said Thursday first-time requests for unemployment benefits jumped to more than 600,000 from the previous week. The Labor Department says the number of people continuing to receive benefits has reached its highest point since July 1983.
With Citigroup stock crashing, the federal government is stepping in. Concerns that the government would buy more common stock in the company were realized this morning, bringing the government's share to 36%. This comes after the Obama administration and the Treasury said Wednesday that they were trying to avoid this. This will give Citigroup more capital, a chance to regroup, and more than 5 years to pay back the government. General Motors announces a $9.6 billion fourth quarter loss. The struggling car manufacturer is the largest domestic auto company in the U.S. GM says it lost 30%, $9 billion last year, and is wasting $85 million a day. The government has already given GM $13.4 billion in bailout money.
The unemployed can now find a job in the comfort of their own homes. Workforce Central Florida is holding a virtual job fair on its website this week. The job fair allows job seekers to review job listings from local employers online and post their resumes. Since the job fair is virtual, it allows employers to recruit employees 24/7. Workforce Central Florida Communication Manager Wendy Moyer says there are a lot of advantages for doing the virtual job fair.
Is that it's available 24 hours a day. So a job seeker can do it on their own time, and they do not have to spend any gas money to get to the actual event.
The job fair will last until the end of the week. The Seminole County School Board says it's facing hundreds of layoffs at the end of the school year. The board says it could cut between 400 and 1,200 jobs due to budget cuts. The layoffs will not only include teachers, but maintenance workers, secretaries, and bus drivers. In the meantime, officials say they're considering more than 500 ways to cut back on money, including a 4-day school week.